Welcome back, everybody, for another episode of Pole Barn Garage. This time around, we're going to be taking this 1959 Ford, and we're going to be preparing it for a 6.5-hour road trip to Sikeston, Missouri for the No Name Nationals, along with the Holy Goat. So we got to get this thing ready. This car is largely untested. It's got like 50 miles on it. We got a lot of little things to do, and a couple of big things. Deadlines, drama! What we got going on here today, the things we'll be doing. We got to change the oil, and it's still got the break-in oil in that 390 we rebuilt. I'm going to put a couple of seat belts in it because, well, I guess we'll be safe about it. Picked up this B&M Unimatic shifter here. That Homegrown thing I made, well, it's just incredibly dangerous, is all. So, as you can see, we got our hands full here. A couple other things that we will have to address is the car has no brake lights. That's a problem. The heater is stuck on, and I think that's it, really. It's got like a square wheel on it that vibrates real bad. We'll just ignore that because, well, I don't have to drive it. Well, I guess first things first, let's jack it up. Oh, God. Oh, that's oil pan. Bad. I guess we'll start with the shifter first because that's really the most important thing. You see, when me and JD were driving this the other day, we noticed, we put it in drive, right? We said, man, this thing doesn't shift. It doesn't feel like it shifts. And that's because it doesn't shift on its own. It has a manual valve body in it. And I bought this trans off a marketplace out of a race car. I should have known better. But, is what it is. That's not a big deal, really. But you can't have a sloppy piece of crap shifter if you got a manual valve body. You got to have something pretty decent. This is the cobbled together mess I just ripped out of here. As you can see, it's ingenious. I'd like to take all the credit, but oh, I can. It sucks. But we'll keep it around. You got to see how big of a hole we need for the new shifter. Let's check that out. You can see we got like a plus-sized hole and like a medium-sized shifter. I'm not sure how this is going to really play out here. There is no room, like, at all, like, anywhere, actually. This is, I might have bought the wrong thing here. Fascinating, really. Ah, yes, right against the dashboard. It's what you like to see. I should have known this would require some kind of fabricating skills that I do not possess. I'm going to have to build like a hump for this thing? That's going to look dumb as hell. The thing is, with this shifter, all the mechanism mounts under the floor, and this C6 is tight in here, man. I'm going to try to bend the floor up. I'm trying to avoid chopping it up any more than it's already cut up. See if I can clearance enough room out of there with my mega channel locks here. Then we'll have to build a little box for it. Oh, well, I got to chop out this carpet just to get it out of our way for now, at least this half, and we'll just put it back in here. This is literally Walmart shag rug, so, you know, it's not like a tremendous loss. I gotta get it out of my way just so we can see what the hell we're doing in here. I think I got a plan. Now, you see, folks, this is why you don't do anything right the first time, because, damn it, you're gonna get back into it sooner or later. So why not just save yourself the hassle? Do it wrong the first time so that you can, you know, lie to yourself. Tell yourself you're gonna do it right the next time. What was that? Some kind of creature. This thing was kind of sitting out in the field for a couple of years. You know, like 30. Yeah, that ought to be enough out of my way. No reason to cut it any more than that. Right here is kind of the sorta happy medium between being able to slide the seat forward and being able to put the car in park without, you know, getting bloody knuckles. Time to make sparks. Don't cut the wiring in this one. That would be bad. No, I can tell you, you're thinking about it. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and catch this thing on fire. I'll get right back with you. Right now, I kind of got it. Probably should have just gone with a regular box style shifter. They're just so ugly. I'm gonna go ahead and fit the cable onto here just to make sure we can fit where I'm trying to put it. I don't know. I mean, it's got to bend probably no more than that. Otherwise, you'll end up kinking it. Then you're out like a $60 cable. This stuff is not cheap, guys. If you don't work on cars, don't. And there is enough room down there to do what I'm wanting to do, evidently. If I cut the hole back a little bit further, you can kind of get it up a little bit, kind of lean it back just a hair like this. So what I'm going to do now is make a cardboard template of it, and I don't know, I guess we'll see how that works out. Kind of tough by myself, but I will make do. Why did I just start with like changing the oil or something? Anyway, I got this chunk of cardboard here, and we just got to make the template we need to make for a hump out of it. Pretty much just use the height of the tunnel up to, there's a ridge right here. And I think we can go ahead and just use that. Oh man, I got to chop off all this raggedy metal back here. So I suppose what I might do is just put a piece of metal in here to bolt half of it down to, and then we'll just make a template for this half, because I think this half over here, I had a piece of the floor, there it is. I think if I just put this in at that height, we can go all the way to this ridge and just put in sheet metal again. And good thing I butchered it all up, that was smart. Thankfully I have like a whole bunch of Mercury Grand Marquis left over after cutting the roof off of the Mercenary. Keeping this Ford all Ford. I gotta go ahead and make our half of our trans tunnel, right? And I just marked where the half of the shifter is going to sit and then trim it to fit. Now the other side is going to be the hard part, but this I'm just going to stick it on there and just screw it down, and that'll give it something to bolt to on half of it. Then if I bolt it to that side, then I can kind of figure out or what shape I would like to make the other half of it. So because one half is kind of curved up and it'll sit just fine. The other half I'm going to have to kind of make a step for it. That'll take some actual work. This, I think, will be fine. I'll just cut it out to nib with. It's going to round off any sharp edges on it as well. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the metal brake. It's perfect. I can tell. Oh. Alright, say it with me, folks, in the comments below, so YouTube thinks you like me. And to say it with me, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot a self-tapper in it. That's right, good job, gang. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot a self-tapper into it. Perfect. Would you believe that this is better than it was before? Dang, pretty sturdy already, actually. I got like 3/4 of a body hammer here, so I'll use it to kind of beat her into shape. You guys have got to love to see a craftsman at work, I know. Oh, that's where your son's car, do it right. Listen, he wants to do it right. Whenever he's growed, he can sure as hell do that. But for now, we got places to be. You know what, son of a bitch, that might just work. So I'm going to shoot a self-tapper to hold the shifter in place, just for now. Maybe permanently. I can live with that. We can grab some gears now. So this is half of it made here, just to give us something to screw this to. And this did dip down real hard. Now, it's a lot better. Now we just got to get up. On this side, we'll just have to come up to here and back here, all kinds of stuff. But we're on the right track. You guys go ahead and look in amazement at this super professional template I made out of a valve cover gasket box. I'm going to go ahead and lay out this flat on a piece of metal and trace it out, chop it out, and I don't know, let's see what we could come up with. I'm kind of surprising myself. Well, here's my pro template. You can see I did really good in 3rd grade art class. So, yeah. Time to get to hacking. Voila! Amazing. The nibbler is like the plasma cutter for poor people. Gotta put this back in the metal brake. Yep. Aha! Yeah, let's go look at it. See if we got anything good going here. But I'm kind of hoping for like a clamshell effect here. I need to cut my slot just a little wider. I cut on the inside of the mark. Should have cut on the outside. Should have known. I didn't measure right. Well, I didn't measure at all, actually. Right, well, it kind of fits in here, but you can kind of see right here that I got a big old hole. I think there's enough meat under here. Oh yeah, if I cut this, like right here, and bend this ear down in there, it ain't never going to be perfect, but we might be able to like caulk it up or something. Let me shoot a few screws into it, play with it, and I'll get right back to you. I'm going to I gotta think, I gotta noodle a little. I just realized if I don't bolt down this half of the shifter right now, I'll never be able to. I gotta drill these two holes on this half, bolt it down, then I can put the other side in. I'll be able to get the other nuts on from underneath, but there's no way I could do this side. But now I just have to drill two holes without drilling into the transmission. You know, I mean, that would be nice. It's not strictly necessary. Probably drilled that too small. I did. Of course I did. I went ahead and hogged out these holes to a bigger size because they came with like metric stuff, and you know, personally I don't really care for commies, but yeah, I hogged them out to a 5/16 thread because they came with some really small ones, and I don't know. It just seems to me like it's going to take a little more abuse than what they could held up to. Boy, this is not going to be any fun to try to get my fingers under there. There's always a way, except when there isn't. I put another bend in this, and that got it a lot closer and out of the way of the gas pedal here. So, alright, that's two to hold it there. Now we'll put a couple where the shifter's going to go. Well, here's what we got. It's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but it'll get the job done. It's pretty freaking solid, but not quite sure how the shifter works exactly just yet. I gotta have Dad come out tomorrow and give me a hand tightening these down because, well, my arms aren't long enough to reach from there to there. Well, it's now the next day, and we gotta figure out which one of these brackets we use to mount this cable. Let me tell you, this cable's about 416 feet long. And that's exactly, I mean, that's precise. I gotta take off the shifter arm on the side of the trans, and it comes with a new one of those. Actually, it comes with all kinds of stuff here. What do we got exactly? I guess we should figure that out before I go taking things apart. I think it's this one. That one looks like Ford. I'll double check the instructions. God, this transmission leaks so bad out of the everywhere. So I gotta yank these two bolts right here. Let's go ahead and mount this bracket on. 10 to 1 odds, I bet. I pull these bolts out and this thing just leaks even worse than it did before. Like that, probably. I don't know. Probably ought to read instructions. Where you at, instructions? I am once again absolutely astounded by the fact that this is such a big car and there is so little room. Truly an amazing feat of engineering. That's part of the battle done there. So let's go ahead and put the shift arm on. Then we got some figuring to do. Wow, this exhaust pipe is super loose. I should probably do something about that too. Weasel my hand up in here to get this tranny arm off. Come on now, come on. Don't be shy now. I got things to do now. Come on. Holy crap. What the hell? Come on. What is it? Pressed on there? What do you want from me? I'd love to show you guys what I'm doing, but there's not even enough room for my hands. Much less a camera. See? I broke it. So that's a good sign. Well, that didn't help me at all. How in the hell? I get a big instrument of prying. I finally managed to get this piece of crap off of here. Mangled the hell out of it in the process. I don't know what the deal was because the new one slid right over it. I think there just must have been, oh, there was a little burr in here. Getting hung up on it. It's kind of homegrown thing anyhow. Well, you can see we got some grade A craftsmanship going on here. You see, I've kind of learned that it was too low and it was hitting the transmission, which is why the shifter felt all funky. And now I'm pretty sure I've destroyed it, so that's good. But, you know, I got 412 body shims just kind of stuffed under here, and that is going to work for sure. So we'll go ahead and patch them in with metal tape. Why, what shims are you talking about, sir? I do not see any. I don't see any shims at all. It's in here. What a nightmare this has been. It took me like 3 hours to put this thing in here. What an unnecessarily huge pain in my ass. And it doesn't even work that much better. Like, it works. I could have Dad come over and help me tighten these bolts up, but, like, it does function. But it's not a slap shift. You gotta really be careful about the gears you go into. Not a race car, so it'll be okay. It's way more controllable than what was in it. So, it is an improvement, just not quite as much of an improvement as I had hoped for. Well, I suppose what we ought to do next is probably put seat belts in it, maybe. I think I'm going to do something a little easier. Let's just change the oil in it. Give me a break for just a second. We all know this by now, right? Roadkill Ford's got zinc in it, 1,500 parts per million or something like that. Plenty. Corda Lucas, because it burns oil. And I did go with the Wix filter instead of the MicroGuard, you know, so. Alright, so all I'm really hoping for here is just to see no shiny things in the metal would be cool. I'm not going to go as far as putting a magnet in it because, well, I don't really want to know. Ignorance is bliss sometimes. But this is the first real oil change we've done on this since rebuilding it. Ooh, pretty black. We've put a couple filters on it. Haven't changed the oil. Oh good, there's all kinds of crap in it. Yeah, that may have just been set up. With any fresh engine, you're gonna see a little bit of stuff in there. As the bearings break in and the ring seat and stuff, I mean, you're gonna see some metal. The fact that it didn't get filtered out is a little concerning, but, you know, it still carries good oil pressure and it's quiet, so it's okay. You don't really need anything fancy here. Just feel for it, you know? It smells good, too. I would change the filter right now, but I forgot I have one of those stupid chrome oil filter covers on here. I gotta go find an Allen wrench that fits that thing to take it off, of course, because, you know, we can't just... Why would I ever do anything to simplify my existence? I don't know what is leaking so bad on here that this thing keeps getting full of oil. At least it's serving a purpose and it's keeping the oil in it. It could be that scenting unit. I've been kind of fighting it, but thought I had it fixed. Maybe I don't. Well, it wasn't because it was too loose. Oh, mother. Oh my God, Dalton, what did I do to this? I'm gonna break something, man. Let's not put the new one on that tight. Threads feel okay. Can't imagine it was leaking because it was over-tightened, but I guess that's possible. Fill her up. I guess let's put the goop in first. The thing that will keep this engine alive. Maybe. Ah, yep. You know when it fills up the valve cover faster than it can drain into the crankcase. You got good stuff. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Got rotella in my tummy. And it's got zinc for a flat tappet cam. There is an almost 4-speed. It's not like super sensitive. See, like I just missed second. But it's better than what was in it for sure. Oh shit. The only thing I don't like about it is that's park. It has another it comes out of park really easy. There we go. That's more like it. At least that locks now. That's good. That's a significant improvement. That's done. We need to patch in the carpet and stuff, but another time. That's not really necessary right now. Oh, and seatbelts. Seatbelts should be next, actually. Let's do that. I am not sure where to put these seatbelts at. For one, these are absolutely 100% like out of a Boeing airplane. I guess that means they're better. Well, this car wasn't really designed to ever have seatbelts. There's not really any room. This is kind of it. The only problem is there's a frame right in the way. I might be able to snake around that frame to get a nut started. I guess I'll just drill a hole and see what happens. Let's do it. A fair question would be, what the hell am I drilling a hole in? That's a good question. I have no idea. Alright, well, that was simple enough. There must not be any frame below there. It came with hardware for it. All you do is just put this bolt through here, and then came with these big old washers, and a lock washer and a nut. Get that stuck up on the bottom there, and voila, seatbelt. I know they should be further back, but the seat needs to be able to move forward so that my 11-year-old can drive the car and be safe. I guess that's it. Repeat that 4 times, and I think we'll mount the... Oh, camera doesn't want to pick up in here. Un momento. I don't know if you guys have noticed that I actually upgraded the camera. Let me know what you think down below. Anyway, I'm going to mount the other ones right on the inside of the trans tunnel. Kind of like a normal car. Well, much like yours truly. They're kind of ugly, but they get the job done. So I got to put the driver's side in now, even though Cody's kind of optional. But at least JD will be safe-ish. There's a full set of seat belts now. I mean, you know, they're still going to die in it, but at least they can feel better about it when they do. Well, I got distracted because I found this cheapo old man steering wheel cover under the seat of the car for some reason. So I had to put that on, incorrectly of course, so it'll come off at the most inopportune time. But for now, upgrade. Here's the deal. Fords use a pressure switch to activate the brake lights instead of, you know, just a switch. So if you lose brake pressure, you don't have brake lights, so nobody knows you're trying to stop. Genius. They used that for a long time. I was just fooling around with it, and the contacts were real dirty. I cleaned them up. I've got the brake light tester 14,000 installed here. They are working. Well, kinda. That one's working real good. This one, you know, he's kind of taking the day off. But it's a grounding issue back here. And that's also super common. So I think we need to improve the connections here. And I also want to make sure they're working even when you're not like... I mean, I have that broomstick just smashed into the roof. I want to make sure they work when you're just normally hitting the brakes too, not just when you're smashing them. This isn't the most ergonomic way to open your trunk. Every time I open it, I end up leaving the screwdriver in the trunk. Right there. So we can see right now, I've got the headlights on, and that brake light is working. Headlights are off, hitting the brakes. Well, they work, but when the brake system loses pressure, I don't know. Man, I swear they see, like I just hit them there. It takes a second. Like that switch is kind of like why? Come back. There. The brakes work perfectly fine on this car. They do work. They're just kind of crappy, I guess. Let's see if they work with headlights. There's driving lights. Yeah. Well, at least the one does, and frankly, that's good enough for me. I literally locked another screwdriver in the trunk. I'm not even making this up. Look. 2 screwdrivers. What? You know why? It's because I put them right there, and then I just shut the trunk on them. You gotta pull the bulb out to take this out? Not quite all the way. Well, anyway. So I got my ground enhancement material here. We're just gonna wrap that in some of it. Right after I clean it up a little bit. It's not that bad, so. But when I was wiggling it around, it started working. Kind of assumed that's what the deal is. Got lights. And let's give her the bounce test. Sure, seems fine. Those are just driving lights. I'm assuming the brake lights will work. I did grab the trunk key out of it. We'll put that back in the glove box. There go the brake lights. Not working again. Sons of a bitch. You can kind of see the driving lights there. But no brake lights. I went and robbed these connectors off of the 61 Ford over there, sitting next to the shop, as you guys might have seen. So I thought that might be better than the half of a butt connector that was on there before, but you know, I'm wrong as usual. Look, they worked. Basically all I did was just add more ground promotion tape to the taillight housings. I don't know, I taped the wires up and just kind of, I don't know, they're probably going to quit working. But they work right now, and that's good enough for me and law enforcement, maybe. Well guys, I think that's going to wrap it up this time. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, and make sure you watch all the build videos on these cars. There's tons of videos in the backlog. You'll enjoy it, I promise. No Name Nationals is coming up. Be there September 30th, October 1st, if I get this out before then, and I should. I'll be there. Just come on in. I don't know what admission is, but it's probably really cheap. It'll be fun. I'll be doing burnouts in the GTO and absolutely blowing the tires off of it. I promise you that. Let's go take a look at old Holy Goat right now. Let's see how prepped I've got it right now. Well, you can see I'm really getting it ready to go. I mean, look at the weeds growing up around there. I'm sure it'll make it 6.5 hours with absolutely no problem. Look, see all the extra weeds? Yeah, and the car cover blew off of it. Oh yeah, and the door has just been open this whole time apparently. So yeah, ready to go. Road trip time. Anyway guys, please remember to hit that like, hit that subscribe, ring the bell, which is now below the video next to like the channel name. If you do that, you don't get notifications for everything, just my channel, my stuff, once, twice a week. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time. I will see you at No Name National.